Also up YouTube, it's AkumaZombie125 coming at you with a video on the September 2011 Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban list. Today I'll be discussing the list with my brother, who will be pointing in the odd remark about his opinions on what should have been hit and what shouldn't have been hit, or something like that, you know. So we'll just get on with the list. The first card that, well, we'll start with the banned cards. And the first card that's to be banned on the list is Fishbowl Blaster. Now, considering this is the OCG list that we're considering here, one must consider that the OCG must have been having some real trouble with the Fish OTK, so you could probably understand where Konami were coming from for that. But also, you know, you kind of think that Fishbowl Blaster is quite a really overpowered card that you could just keep using it again and again and generate enough firepower for the OTK. Firstly, what are your views, Martin?
Firstly, the Fish OTK, it was good at the start of the format, then it kind of faded away. It's not been doing anything for a while, so I don't understand why.
But it did top recently. It did do quite well recently at a YCS in America. I think it like top 4.
Yeah, but it's not a good enough card to be banned. And secondly, you've we're going to discuss it a bit later, but they've limited Formula Synchron. So I don't understand why this card still needs to be banned if they limited Formula Synchron. Because that was the main play, was to get Treeborn Frog out, summon Fishbowl Blaster back, and keep summoning formulas.
They basically made Red Nova Dragon inaccessible. Basically, you can't go for Red Nova Dragon anymore now.
Yeah, but I don't understand Fishbowl Blaster's banning at all.
Okay. So, moving on to the next ban card. We don't actually have it. Well, we do have it, just couldn't find it in time for the video. Is Mind Master, the psychic tuner that allowed for this OCG Guster FTK, which basically allowed you to draw through your entire deck to get Exodia to the hand. Now, I think that's a wise banning to stop something apparently was quite a consistent thing in the OCG. What are your thoughts, Martin?
Well, I don't know the OTK or FTK, but I know it was involved in it, so yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, moving on to the next card. We do have it, obviously. It is the next card we banned was Giant Trunade. Now, in my personal opinion, I think this was a good call because Giant Trunade was a very sacky card in my opinion. I mean, you could just pull that and you win. Basically, it was your win. It was the main win condition of most decks, and it was just, you know, it was just stupid. You know, people, you know, it didn't. These formats, these last few formats were actually very good. However, there was a lot of stupid plays going on in between. But overall, this format was good. But what are my brother's views on the card being banned?
Well, I expected it, to be honest, but unlike most people, I'm not a huge fan because I think Heavy Storm is a lot less situational. You can use it many more times. Giant Trunade can be a dead draw I've had that quite a few times where I draw Giant Trunade at completely the wrong time. You have to use it at the right time. It requires a lot of skill to play correctly. Plus, to make the best use out of it, your deck has to be constructed well enough to use it to its full potential. So I think it's a card that promoted skill more, even though you could obviously just drop it and then go for the win, but you had to have the resources in place to be able to do that. So
but there were a lot of decks that could get those resources quite quickly, and decks that could use that quite quickly, like Dragonities, for example.
So it's rewarding well-constructed decks, which I don't see as a huge problem.
Well, it could excel them to the fact that they're almost unbeatable, really.
Everyone has that access to that card, so it doesn't make them unbeatable.
Well, true. It's an odd card to call, but I think Trunade should have been banned. A lot of people have been calling it. So next card to be banned, and well, the last card to be banned, is Royal Oppression. Now,
I love this.
Yeah, my brother's over the moon about this. I see where they're coming from. Royal Oppression was a very, again, like Trunade, it was a very sacky card. Really, you play that, basically it's your win condition. But I also view that Oppression's a really hard card to play as well, because you have to, obviously you have to play it at the right time, because if you're just playing it to stop your opponent going first turn Stardust or something, you're also kind of shooting yourself in the foot a bit because you're shutting off your own special summons.
Well, not me, that doesn't rely on special summons.
Touche. However, you know, decks that do rely on special summons that still use oppression, like Black Wings and even Gravekeepers and what was the other one? X-Sabers that sometimes use that. You know, you have to play it smartly in that, and I think that was the appeal for the card. It was a smart card. You can just put it in and expect
But it just stops far too much. You know, it slows the opponent down to a halt, generates the player who played it far too much long-term advantage. It was a pain to play around, and I'm glad to see it gone.
Okay. Well, those are the 4 banned cards. We've got Fishbowl Blaster, Mindmaster, Trunade, and Oppression. Okay, moving on to the limited cards. The first card. The new limited card is Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning, straight fresh from the ban list, not seen play since 2006 or 2005. 6 years it's been on the ban list, and ironically, welcome back. You know, this card has received, it was re-released recently in Gold Series 4, and that's when everyone started speculating that it's coming off the ban list. And obviously, Chaos decks are going to rule the format, basically, because this is a really... well, it's going to be one of the main contenders, Chaos. Any Chaos deck, like Twilight, even, Chaos, maybe decks that... Maybe not Chaos Plants, because we'll get back to that in a minute, but this is a really powerful card. If you don't know what it does, it's the same summoning requirements as Chaos Sorcerer, and 3000 attack, 2/5 defense, and you can activate one of the effects once per turn. It removes a monster and doesn't specify if it's face up or face down from play, but it sacrifices attack. Or if you attack and successfully destroy a monster, the card can attack once again in a row. Obviously, that's just brilliant. 3000 attacking, going once and then going again. That could just do major damage. Now, what are your personal thoughts?
Well, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but we were all kind of expecting it again, and but I don't think it's going to be as game breaking as it was.
Because there's a lot more to stop it now.
Exactly. So I think it'll be very interesting to see what effect it has. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. Like when Chaos Sorcerer was brought back. Yeah, everyone thought, oh man, this is going to be excellent, but it turned out that there wasn't much play for it. Play for it to begin with. On to the next limited card, we have Debris Dragon. Now, I think this was personally one of the ones that went too far in the limiting for plant decks. I think if you limited all the rest and kept Debris at 2, then that would have been fine, but I think Konami went a bit too far with the plant hate. They switched their hate from Black Wings to plants now. So, and we don't know what the TCG list is going to be like yet, so Konami are in charge now. It's not upper deck anymore, so they might limit TCG exclusives like they did with Allure, and it was like Cyberstein as well that they limited as well at one point, but
they weren't TCG exclusive.
Cyberstein wasn't.
Cyberstein wasn't Allure.
Yeah.
I think
Allure was at the time, but they was just about to be released in the extra pack, I think.
Yeah.
They might do the same with stuff. They might do the same in the TCG with stuff like Dark Soul and Barrier, because that's just about to be released in extra pack 4.
I don't know.
Well, who knows? But anyway, Debris Dragon, I don't think it was a good card to get hit. I think it's just crippled the deck a bit too much. It's still playable, Chaos Plants, I know for myself, because I'm still playing with it. I've tested it out, but I'm gonna have to remodel the deck completely because of this, because it's just not performing this with the same potency as it once did. What are your personal thoughts?
I completely agree. I think this was one limitation too far.
Okay, moving on to the next card. Obviously, another plant hit was Lone Fire Blossom. Now, I was playing, but, I understand where it's coming from. Yeah, Lone Fire Blossom, double. It's deck thinning, and it gets you Titanial. It gets all your plant engine out, going, everything. So I can understand why I hit it. and it doesn't really seem to have affected that much in my opinion, because you know I'm still in the test matches I've done with the deck. You know how quickly I've got Lone Fire to hand with Sangan and summoned it got to Taniel out. It's not really affected how it plays really. You just can't pitch it. You can't just pitch the other one to the graveyard, really, which is the minus of it. Personal thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's an okay, and it obviously will have dent the power of plant decks quite a lot. I think more than you expect it to.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to draw it as much. But yeah, I think it's an okay limitation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next card. We're on to the Synchron monsters that got limited. Formula Synchron. A hit for both plants, fish, and anything that uses tokens basically to mass summon and get off this basically. And it's cut. And the ban list is also here. It's Partner in Crime as well, which will be on in a couple of minutes. So Formula Synchron, I think it was a wise thing to do. People were definitely abusing it, and it has stayed off the list for a bit too long. 2 formats it's been out. I think it's
yeah.
Yeah.
I think again, I think it's okay. I don't really have much more else to add.
Yeah. People are still able to cope without it. But next card we've got Legendary 6 Samurai Shien. Obviously, I don't have the copy of Shien, so I'm just using Great Shogun Shien as a example. You know, just you know what it is, you know what it does. You know, it just basically cuts Sams down to size, makes them play a bit more smartly, than just spamming the field.
Yeah, I think they'll have to find cleverer ways to win from now on, and that could provide some interesting results. So this is a good limitation. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with 6 Samurais.
Obviously, Sam players are crying their eyes out through this list because they've lost not just this but another card.
As our plant players.
Yeah, and as our plant players and fish players. But anyway, moving on to the next card. We don't have this one either. It's TG Hyper Librarian represented by TG Power Gladiator.
Yeah.
Now that's Formula Synchron's Partner in Crime. Because if you play that, well, you've got that out, you get 2 free cards.
Yeah.
And you get pluses off opponent synchro summoning, which just made any type of deck that could easily access level 5 broken.
The card was ridiculously powerful. I think it was right to limit it.
So, not much more to discuss about that, really, so we'll just move on to the next card. Which, well, we all know it's definitely going to be hit by the list in the TCG, which is Trishula. Dragon the Icebar. People were just spamming this in plant decks, weren't they? Yeah. And not just that, even zombies are using it a hell of a lot.
Oh yeah.
That's probably what made it so
we can summon it in one move in zombies now. It's great.
Yeah. So right limiting really, and you know it's about time really. You know, people are saying why don't eliminate it as soon as it comes to CCG. It's just like Binac really. People just want to see what it's like at 2. Just give them the OCG experience. We've got about 2 minutes left, so we'll make another part of this and just move on to the rest of the cards. Next, well, we'll do the last card. Next one to come to 1 is Heavy Storm. Heavy Storm is back off the list. Yeah. Well, I think this is a good choice.
They had to bring Heavy Storm.
If they were banned Trunade, they had to bring back Heavy Storm. I personally like Heavy Storm coming back. I think it was a very wise decision because, you know, before people feared Heavy Storm and they played conservatively in their moves. Whereas since Heavy Storm got banned, everyone's just opening with 5 sets, which is just ridiculous. Or, you know, at least 6 sets. And it brings back Starlight Road, which my dad is proudly showing off there. So yeah, I think it was a good bring back, but it is a really weird card. It's a controversial card.
It can screw. It can screw the opponent over turn 1.
Yeah.
If they're not careful.
If they're not careful, it punishes overextending.
But even if they only set 2 cards turn 1, it can still completely cripple them.
Yeah, but if they're
and whereas Giant Trunade only sent back to the hand, Heavy Storm gets rid of them permanent. For good, so it's a major advantage getting a.
Can we do that payment, Andy?
I still would have preferred to keep Giant Trunade the back row hate as it was, but this will make things more interesting.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, so almost out of time here. We'll just come back with part 2 in a second. Okay, peace YouTube.